Hello all, good evening, welcome, adab, sat sri akal, welcome to WDA live show tonight.
Welcome. Good
Welcome
evening,
Dr. Anand.
Abhishek. Good evening, everyone. Welcome. Thanks a lot, Abhishek. Welcome, everyone. Thanks a lot for the very warm and very wholesome and welcome to everyone, Abhishek.
I just realized our both of our names start from a double A.
A
What
and
Kumar Swami
AM,
sir,
M.
yes, what
And
Kumar Swami
yeah,
sir used to tell us double A boys.
yes,
And for information of all of you, Kumar Swami sir is perfectly fine. He's at home, discharged, and he will be back very soon. So today,
great.
without wasting much of your time, I would like to welcome Rajiv Verma sir among us. Please welcome sir to the show. Good evening and welcome sir.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Welcome.
Good evening, Abhishek. Sorry. Good evening, the double A.
Good evening sir.
Yes. Up and always on time, sharp 9 o'clock. We are here with part 2. Dr. Coachman will join us in some time because I am supposed to take a revision of part 1 in my own way and my own style of teaching. So let me begin first of all by again thanking World Dental Association, Abhijit and your whole team. And it's been fun time with all of you. Imagined in my life that I could reach lakhs of dentists through these webinars on World Dental Association. In 22 years of my teaching as a speaker and a course conductor for IDA, FAMDent, and various other organizations, I must have maximum reached 30,000, 40,000 dentists across India, Bangladesh, and some other countries. And I have only, today I have to say, I have only taught around 4,000 dentists as my participants in a journey of since 2002. That's 18 years.
Wow.
And it's been the longest running course in India. But today I realize that in 18 years, I could touch only 4,000. Here, one probably last 6 weekends, and I have probably reached more than 2 lakh dentists. So I think the power
more than that
online is amazing, totally underestimated by all of us, because frankly, video conferencing was always present for the last several years, but I don't know why we did not take advantage of it. So good, I am getting confidence, and day by day, my confidence is growing. I am motivated now because there's so many requests to start my regular courses on an online platform. And I'm just wondering how to do these hands-ons of tooth preparation online and all. But I'm sure I will think about it because I am an audience man. I always hated webinars. But this love and affection of so many people joining in. I can see Rupal Kada from all the way from Kenya. She happens to be my course participants at my Thane batch, with Prabhajit Singh Sethi from Kolkata, to Saurabh Vankar from Pune, to Aslam Inamdar, to Khalida, to Ritesh Dedia after a long time, and Dheeraj Punjabi and Kamaldeep Kaur and Sachin Shah. Thank you, Sachin, for joining. The best clinic in Mumbai presently to go and visit. The best digital dental center clinic in Mumbai. And so many. I can go on and do 15 minutes of time pass by everybody's name who has joined in. Good. So let me begin the day with the concept of DSD all over again. DSD started way back in my life in 2011. And since then, I have been pursuing it for several years. And we started with PowerPoint and Keynote, which was really difficult to work with. I agree to that. But then you have to also realize that this man was 50 years old already when he learned DSD. So when my gray cells were already pretty damaged and I couldn't retain many things, I had the guts to learn a concept called digital smile design from Dr. Coachman. Then I was appointed as an instructor for Asia, and I used to take my courses, which I still used to take till the lockdown. And I have to apologize to all my 400 plus participants that many of you could not start DSD. Many of you cursed me. Many of you actually told me that, it's a waste of money for us because we couldn't do it. Well, for all of you, first of all, apologies from my side. But I would also tell you that you should have always looked at me, who can do it at 50 years of age. Why couldn't you do it? And today also I'll tell you the reason why you couldn't do it is because you could not delegate your regular dental work like a root canal treatment, a crown and bridge work, implant placement to your associates and consultants, because of which you did not get time to work on PowerPoint or Keynote. You did not get time to practice photography, Anyways, I welcome you back to the family or the DSD world today, because the world has really gone ahead, and so much ahead that it's now beyond our image. In fact, patients have started now calling and asking, do you do DSD? So that kind of global marketing is happening by Dr. Coachman's office, and it's really benefiting all those who are doing the DSD. So DSD has become extremely simple now. We have the DSD app, which can be downloaded from the App Store. DSD presently is for the iPad, only for the iPad. It's not available on Windows platform, and it's not available for the iMac. Shortly, it will be available for iPhone also. But remember, iPhone screen size is comparatively smaller than iPad. So working on the full face, is little difficult unless you master it. Of course, there is one more development which has happened in the world of DSD app, is most of the app is now AI. Artificial intelligence has been put into the app in such a manner that even if you take one simple photo with your mobile phone of a patient, this photo, the app can on its own make a before and after of what the patient would look after treatment. Something similar to what Invisalign has. The same thing, you could say. Correct? So Dr. Coachman, today there is one question for him about the tie-up between DSD and Invisalign. So because I know there are hundreds of orthodontists in India who do Invisalign today, and they are making this opportunity of combine DSD with Invisalign, which is the thing in the world today. So appeal to all orthodontists, DSD is actually beneficial to you beyond anything. Similar to even implantologist, okay? And to prosthetic guys, I'll come to that. Anyway, the app is now completely AI, and it takes literally few minutes, 2 to 3 minutes literally, to get a before after done. And once the simulation stage is complete, and if you show the patient the simulation in a form of a printout on a simple Kodak photo paper printout in your clinic with your clinic name and everything written below, or if you want to show the iPad itself, or you want to show it on a large television screen in your clinic, say a 40-inch screen or something like that, to let the patient take a call whether the patient would like to see something like this happening in his life. This is a small motivational tool, a simulation. If the patient says, I like it and I would like to go to the next level, the next level is actually creating the 2D analysis on the app in another, say, probably 4 to 6 minutes. And then you will get the dimensions of the teeth, the length, the breadth, and the thicknesses to create a wax up. The wax up could be done by a local lab on manual method, or the app has a 3D component to it, in which 3D wax up could be done by putting in additional 15-20 minutes or maybe little more time in the beginning, that you could do, or your technician can do, or your staff can do, who is used to playing video games. All those guys can learn this very fast. And you can create a digital wax up on the iPad itself. And if you have a 3D printer, and if you have a PMMA resin with you, a tooth colored resin of say A2 shade or A1 shade, something like that, preferably always A1, you could print out the test drive called as the DSD shells, which are only labial surfaces and incisal or occlusal surfaces of the test drive, and you can get this 3D printed chair side. If you do not have a 3D printer, you can always send it to a digital equipped lab, like say Dr. Aslam Inamdar's lab, or any other lab who has 3D facility, 3D printing facility. So DSD has become extremely simple. Once you have this DSD shell, or if you go through a manual method and create a manual wax up and you create a silicone index, you could use a material like Luxatemp inside it, A1 shade, and you could push it into the patient's mouth, and 5 minutes down the line, when you remove the silicone index, clean up the excess, you will have the teeth over teeth concept called as the test drive. Once the patient actually sees these teeth in his mouth, example, a badly mutilated mouth patient who comes, who cannot imagine how he will look after treatment and is not ready for the treatment because of fear, because of cost of treatment, because of number of appointments, and because of pain possibilities, he refuses the treatment. But if to such a patient, if you show him with a test drive in a form of a simulation and an actual test drive with a material like Luxatemp, the manual way, or the DSD shell way, which is the 3D printed 3D app way, in that situation, the patient can actually see his wife or the spouse before getting married. The patient can not only in the initial the initial test drive which is there, which is a motivational test drive or a motivational mock-up, can, once the patient says, yes, doctor, I think I need to go ahead with this treatment, you can make one more test drive which is also involving function. So you can have a motivational test drive and you can have a technical test drive. Ooh. This is like purchasing a new car, purchasing this jacket. I tried this jacket, I tried 10 more jackets and then I selected this jacket. It's like arranged marriage. It's like a mithai shop. It's like selecting spectacle frames. In life, everything gives us an opportunity to do a test drive and then make a decision to invest money, invest energy, time, everything into a project or to purchase anything. Even you purchase on Amazon, Amazon gives you a time for a test drive, and that's why they have a 15-day buyback facility. Remember this, okay? So this is one part of DSD, which is actually very easy. So I give this invitation, if all my old DSD participants are watching, you need to come back to this fold of DSD. It has become extremely simple. 8 years have passed. Rajiv Verma has now become almost 58 years old, and I can still easily do it and adapt it. But again, I will request is devote and dedicate your time for something great in dentistry. It will take your dentistry 10 levels up. It will multiply your income 5 to 10 times per month. I don't know where. And the most important what DSD will do to your work is it will become accurate. There was one question on DSD part 1, which is, but doctor, if I do my DSD, which I am doing, the lab spoils the work. It's not the same as my test drive. This is an answer to this question, my dear friend, because you are still stuck at the 2D part of the DSD concept, where you're working with a hand wax up with silicone index and Luxatemp. You need to now move to the next part, the 3D part. Either you do it in the app, or you can send it to a lab like Dr. Aslam Inamdar's lab, or any other lab who has a software like ExoCAD, or a software like a 3Shape software, or a Cerex software, or any other software. You can produce this digital wax up and make a digital test drive for you and send it in a PMMA material. Okay? Or they can make a digital, then they can make a 3D printed model on which you make the silicone index. So whatever is planned on screen, it will be reproduced 100% the same way into the patient's mouth at the mock-up stage, means test drive stage. The motivational test drive will be a copy of it. The technical test drive will be a copy of it. And the best part, The final restorations, whether they are simple crowns, they are crowns and bridges, they are crowns over implant, they are veneers, or they are any other kind of restorations, all these restorations would be Xerox copy of the plan which is there on screen to begin with. So what you showed the patient gets the same. Another thing, layering is out in dentistry. So there is literally no need to layer things unless you are doing a single restoration and there are mamelons and other things in the neighboring tooth, then you probably will still have to layer. But if you are doing multiple restorations, say a badly mutilated mouth, a Bruxer's mouth, or any other situation where a lot of teeth need treatment. One sec, I have a call from Dr. Coachman. I'll just take it. Hello. Yeah. I'll send. Abhishek, are you listening? Call Abhishek. He's not sent a link to Dr. Coachman. He thinks so. Abhishek, have you sent a link to Dr. Coachman?
Abhishek, you are mute.
Send one to me on my WhatsApp also to send, and send one email to him, yeah? Or send it to me.
Right away.
Oh, I have to forward it. Oh, sorry. Oh, I am so sorry. He's waiting. Send.
Okay. No problem.
On your email. Sorry. It's my duty. I forgot.
No problem, sir. It happens. No problem.
One sec.
So you were totally in the zone of teaching DSD, sir.
On his email.
Sir was in the zone of teaching.
His
Yes.
email. From there, Dr. Coachman, secretary also is now calling me continuously. She sent a message. What's the link for the webinar? And
He's here. I'm putting him online. Right away.
He's here.
Hi, good evening.
He's here? Good. I will continue my talk some other time. Oh my God. Welcome.
Welcome to the show, sir.
And that's a Brazilian zebra.
I'm sorry for being late. Too many webinars.
And I have to say sorry, I totally forgot to send you the link. It was with me. So welcome. I think I will hand over now to Dr. Coachman. Is he frozen or Christian? Yes. So I think I'll hand over to you. Are you ready?
Right,
Yes. So to begin with, again, a small introduction of Dr. Coachman, the CEO and founder of Digital Smile Design DSD, for all those who missed part 1. And for everybody's information and for Christian's information also, part 1 has been already watched by over 48,000 dentists.
How many?
48,000 dentists.
48.
48. Okay. So
Wow.
it's going, and we are having watch parties almost every day. And we are seeing that more and more people get involved with the concept, because I know that it is truly beneficial. It is beneficial truly to an orthodontist, implantologist, and as Dr. Coachman said it last time, it's a full mouth rehabilitation program concept. So you need it for everything in dentistry. So I think I'll go ahead, Christian, and let's begin. The next question, like last time we heard what is DSD, we heard when to do DSD, and today we will go to the next one, because this is a question asked to me almost every now and then, how to do DSD. Because everybody who has done with me the PowerPoint or learned from me the PowerPoint till date curse me for it. So now I think we need to tell them about the simple concept of a DSD app and how things will be so easy for everybody. And is DSD app coming on an iPhone? So life would be even easier. So one more investment of an iPad is reduced. Just tell us about the app quickly and how they can learn this app online or something.
So going back to the concept, to the explanation that we shared last week, right? How to do DSD. Again, it's a complex question or a complex answer, because as I showed last week, DSD is a bunch of things. So if we go back to the pillars, design better, plan better, present better, and perform better, right? 4 pillars of DSD. Design better means becoming a better facial analyzer and designing better smiles in harmony with faces. That's the #1 thing about DSD. We can do that old school, keynote PowerPoint, hand backs, test drive in the mouth, and then we can use that to plan the case. We can use that to sell the case, and then as we sell the case, usually before technology was here, we would do silicon indexes from that wax up that were starting point, and we would try with keynote drawings and with silicone indexes, we would try to guide the clinical procedures. So the 4th part of DSD, that is performing dentistry, the basic concept of DSD is based on guided dentistry, meaning we don't want anymore just to do a great clinical procedure. We want to do a great clinical procedure that respects the plan. That's the difference. We don't want to work with just a great orthodontist. We want to work with a great orthodontist that respects the plan. What does that mean? That when I was doing a wax-up and I was realizing that to make that wax-up become reality, only doing veneers or crowns was not enough, that maybe my patient needed also to move the teeth and to align the gum. So now suddenly, from 6 veneers or 10 veneers, I'm talking about orthodontics, gingivoplasty, and veneers, right? So now, modern dentistry means that the orthodontist, the periodontist, and the restorative dentist will perform each one their individual procedure that they together decided as a team that was the best for the patient. They're going to perform this procedure, but they will respect the wax. So if you think about this, you think about how can an orthodontist move teeth and actually respect a waxer when moving teeth? It's very hard. How can we do a crown lengthening and replicate and make the outcome of that crown lengthening to be the same as I did? How can I open the vertical of the patient and make that vertical is the same that I open on my waxer? How can I make 10 veneers and make my 10 veneers look exactly the same as my waxer? So this is the challenge. This is a big challenge of dentistry. And this is what we call guided dentistry. Modern dentistry is guided dentistry, meaning that we're going to become better and better and better, performing procedures that generate outcomes that are more and more similar to whatever we simulated in the beginning. If you don't use technology, your simulations, what means your simulations? Means the keynote drawings and the wax. This is your simulation, right? If you are into the 3D digital world, suddenly simulations become something completely different, much more powerful. Because if you use 3D technology, instead of doing a wax up, you're going to do a 3D design. And instead of just looking at the wax up, you're going to be able to simulate the whole treatment before even touching the patient. So the 3D world allows us to simulate the ortho, simulate the crown lengthening, simulate the opening of the vertical dimension, simulating the restoration, simulating the bite, simulating the implant, simulating the orthodontic surgery, simulating whatever you want before you even touch the patient, before you even sell the case, because we do all these simulations to help us sell the case. So once the patient says, yes, I love these simulations, I love everything you showed, and I want to pay for it, and I want to do the treatment. Now starts guided dentistry. And guided dentistry means that the dentist and the technician and whoever is doing these 3D simulations for the dentist, as a team, they need to find a way to translate these simulations into devices, into guides, into stents, into matrices, into aligners, into whatever we can develop. Manufacture these guides to guide our hands to perform things in the mouth that are guided by the plan. So I usually say this: modern dentistry in the future not have anymore freehand procedures in patient's mouth. Meaning that whatever we're going to do in the mouth, we're going to have a guide that we're going to attach to the mouth to guide our hands, to guide our blade, to guide our burr, to guide our instruments, to do whatever we need in the mouth. This is guided dentistry. Guided dentistry means simulating before doing and translating the simulation into guides and performing the procedure using guides. And then after that, scanning the results and doing digital quality, meaning overlapping your result with the simulation in the software and checking how good you were respecting the project. This is modern guided dentistry. So if you don't have 3D technology, what can we do? We can do certain things that we used to do without technology that already helps. Of course, 3D technology is a must to have the highest level of guided dentistry. But you can do, for example, if you're going to do a crown lengthening, you can do a silicone index over your waxer. You can place this markup in the mouth. You can mark the tissue where the gum should be and do the gingivoplasty respecting the waxer. You can do another guide that when you open the flap, this guide based on the waxer will give you an idea where you should reshape the bone to have biological width to place the gum where the waxer is showing that is the most beautiful place to place the gum. You can generate silicone guides over the wax up, and from time to time, you can bring the patient that is on orthodontics and try to fit that in the mouth and see if the teeth are moving more or less toward where you want them to be. What else you can do? After doing any procedure, you can take photos of the patient's face smiling after ortho, after crown lengthening, and you can bring this back to Keynote or PowerPoint, copy paste your drawings, and do a 2D quality control. Is it 100% precise? No, but it's better than nothing. And you can evaluate and tell your orthodontist, maybe you need to move the teeth a little bit more. Maybe we can improve the tooth position before I go into the next step. This is like an analog guided dentistry, let's say, right? 2D guided dentistry. There are many things that you can do. Guide your preps, silicone indexes, do the mock-ups, depth cutters, create grooves, guide your preps, then use all the other guides that we usually do. We did this for 20 years and place the guide, check the clearance of your prep, quality control on your prep. That's also guided dentistry. No technology whatsoever, right? You can check the implant position with guides, guided dentistry. You know, this is what we can do in terms of guided dentistry without 3D technology. Now, if we have 3D technology, then we can take this to the next level. If our lab has 3D technology, if we work with the planning center that has 3D technology, then they can do all the simulations and all the guides, and we can really bring this to the highest level of precision. And this precision means The outcome is getting more and more similar to the initial proposition, the initial simulation that we showed to the patient, more and more similar. So this is what we call guided dentistry. That is the fourth and final step of DSD.
Perfect. So the question also is, there were a lot of questions on the DSD app, you know.
Okay.
So just on 2 minutes on DSD app.
So how do we fit the DSD app into this game? So again, design, plan, present, and perform. So the app is a great substitute for Keynote and PowerPoint to start with. So when it comes to taking the facial pictures, the app helps the team to take those pictures, not forget the pictures that are needed. So it facilitates the process of training our staff to take the right picture. So it's like a wizard. It's like a tutorial process, right? Then the next thing that the app helps is through artificial intelligence, the app allows us to an initial smile simulation, facially driven, in harmony with the face, that looks great in seconds. Instead of doing it in 30 minutes in Keynote, we can do it in less than a minute with the app. So it is 2D smile, facially driven smile simulation tool out there, right? So you can really save a lot of time by utilizing the app. And the facially driven smile simulation is the first step of the DSD journey anyway. So instead of using Keynote, instead of using PowerPoint, instead of using Photoshop, instead of using all the other companies that are trying to copy us, you can use the app that is the best. Not because I helped develop, but it is the best 2D smile simulation tool out there. What else you can do with the app? You can use the app with this 2D smile simulation. You can do what? You can create motivation, show to the patient. So together with doing the mock-up in the mouth to show to the patient the before and after, you can also show the app stimulation. Very powerful, very nice, very natural, very beautiful, very easy. So in 1 minute, you take a picture of somebody. You can do it with friends at the bar. You take a picture, design a smile, before and after. Super fast. So it's a motivational tool. The other thing, it's a communication tool, because you can use the app to do the smile simulation to communicate with the team, to show to your orthodontist, to your periodontist, because the app translates the simulation in an automated way, transforms that simulation into a presentation where you can have the outlines, the drawings, the measurements, the comments. So you do the smile simulation and you can transform it into a little presentation that you can easily share with your specialist. So you bring the team on board and you show your vision, and they can share their ideas on how to make that vision happen in terms of treatment. So it's a team communication tool. The app also is very, very nice to generate communication between the doctor and the technician. Maybe one of the most powerful parts of the app. If you dentist have the app, your technician has the app, you can communicate in the app. Meaning that if you do a 2D, share it to your lab can change your 2D, make it even better, share back to you. You can say, no, I don't like, you can change again, share back to the lab, and then they can proceed with the rest of the work. So if they have the app, it's like having the technician with you side by side designing the smile together, even if he is on the other side of the country. So it's a beautiful communication tool to really express what kind of smile design you want the technician to respect. If the technician is not digital, it's handmade, the technician can then take the 2D DSD app simulation and can use the measurements to translate to the model and do a guided wax up the way I used to do in the old DSD courses. So the technician doesn't need to be a 3D digital technician. He can be an analog technician and still benefit from the app as a starting point, facial guide to make the wax up a better wax up. If your technician has CAD-CAM, even better, because then your technician can translate these 2D files from the app, import into CAD-CAM, calibrate the STL to the simulation, and design in 3D respecting your 2D. That means that if he prints the project, you can put this in the mouth and it's going to look identical to your 2D. He can then design restorations and allow the technician to do manufacture the veneer identical to your 2D. So whatever you show your patient in 2D is what your technician is delivering next week in the ceramics. This is extremely, extremely powerful. The final part of the app is that the app is also a 3D software. The first and still the only mobile 3D smile design software. So the app has a 3D part that is very, very intuitive and very nice. So if your technician has the app, not only can do the 2D with you, but the app has a very simple way to translate this 2D into 3D. So we can do a 3D design. We can import the intraoral scan of your patient into the app and design a 3D smile in the app and export that file. What do you do with this export, this new smile design export? You can export to a printer and print the markup and place it in the mouth. You can export and print to do guides to do direct composite, injected composite. You can export these files to import into a CAD-CAM and copy paste and design your final restoration identical to the app design. So this is the ultimate utilization of the app. That's why we strongly believe that dentists and technicians having the app generate a workflow that is unparalleled in dentistry today.
Good. So that takes us to the next question, which many people have been asking me. Sir, they asked me like this: I am an orthodontist and I don't think DSD is of any use to me. Another guy who just, I think a month ago, he's been in conversation with me. He does over 100 Invisalign cases in a year. You know, he's a platinum member of the Invisalign group. And he was asking me, sir, how will DSD enhance my Invisalign cases? Okay. So can you throw a little light on DSD Invisalign partnership? One, there is another friend of mine who puts almost 250 implants per month in a patient's mouth. And he always says, you know,
he does what? I'm sorry?
300 implants he puts in patient's mouth per month. And there is always I always tell him that if you used DSD concept, your anteriors would really go well with the patient's face, you know, but he refuses to understand. Probably I am unable to, or probably he thinks I am trying to convince him. So can you throw a little light about the usage of DSD? Advantage for implantology, advantage for orthodontics, advantage for a badly mutilated mouth or a bruxism patient. Because trust me, presently India eats implants, sleeps with implants, you know, so much implantology happening in India, it's unbelievable. And I have very few, or not, probably one or two implantologists following the DSD concepts for their implants.
This is what I can say. Regardless of your specialty, if the work you're doing is influencing the smile of somebody, DSD can help.
Yes.
So if you do orthodontics, smile, DSD is for you. If you do prosthesis, implant prosthesis, you're designing smiles, perfect for you. So the concept is, if you are a smile rehabilitator, DSD can help you. If you want to differentiate yourself, if you want to deliver better smiles, Not veneers, not crowns, whatever you need. If you do crown lengthening, if you do orthodontics, if you do implants, if you treat worn dentition cases, if you do restorations, if you do orthodontic surgery, if what you do impacts people's smile, you should give it a try. Because competition is huge, and in India, I know competition is huge. The amount of dentists is huge, and you want to differentiate yourself. You want to see that you're better, that you're doing, that you care more, that what you do has better quality, that you're not only placing implants. People don't care about the implants. They care about chewing and smiling. That's what they care about. They don't care about orthodontic. They care about chewing and smiling. So if you care about people, if you don't care about people, don't care about DSD. It's not for you. If you care about people and if you care about differentiating yourself, you should care about DSD. And it's not about business here. I'm not convinced people to do business with us. Last week I taught people how to do DSD without using us. It's about the principle. It's about the methodology. It's about the philosophy. If you don't open your mind to these philosophies, you're not giving the best care to your patients. You are not allowing yourself to understand how to be better for people. Because if I'm saying here that the money is not an excuse anymore, because with whatever instruments you have today, you can use the DSD idea.
Yes.
So there's no excuse anymore.
Perfect. Can you just little bit on DSD Invisalign? How does DSD Invisalign partnership benefit those orthodontists who use Invisalign regularly?
So the concept started with the fact that so it all depends on how you start your journey. If you start your journey as an orthodontist and all you see is orthodontics, all you see is moving teeth, you're going to be in this bubble of moving teeth. If all you see and all you do is perio, if you only have a hammer, everything will look like a nail. It's all you have, it's a hammer. And if we have a full toolbox, you're going to see the big picture. Right? So
yes,
I had the luck to start my journey not as an orthodontist, not as a periodontist, not as a restorative dentist. I had the luck to start my dental journey from the comprehensive big picture vision, because that's the way my father works with dentistry. He's a comprehensive dentist. So he told me, step back, always start from the big picture. It doesn't matter if you're super good on something. Before utilizing your skills on this one thing, step back, look at the big picture, and check how your super specialty fits the big picture before you jump into your specialty. So I'm coming from this big picture perspective. And I learned that modern dentistry is interdisciplinary. And interdisciplinary dentistry starts with facially guided treatment planning. And facially guided treatment planning starts with smile design. So I realized early on that I needed always to start with the smile design project. Before thinking as an orthodontist, before thinking as a restorative dentist, I needed to start with the facially driven smile design project. So that's what I did. Every new patient that came in, if the patient would say, "Oh, I think I need ortho," I say, "Well, step back, facial analysis, and smile design, and let's see what you really need." If the patient would come in and say, "Oh, I want a better smile, I want veneers," I would say, "Wait, step back, big picture, smile design project, and let's confirm what you really need. Let's do a comprehensive diagnostic process with you here. And as I was doing these smile design, facial driven smile design projects, of course, I was a little biased towards the restorative world because that was my thing. So I was doing these wax ups, trying to guide my restorations, and I started to realize how great would be in a big percentage of my cases to be able to move teeth before the restoration. And I fell in love with moving teeth, even without being an orthodontist. I fell in love with the possibility of moving teeth. To improve the position, to improve the distribution, to improve the space distribution, to improve the relationships, to improve the bite, to improve the gum line, to allow my wax ups to be even more beautiful, my mock-ups, provisionals, and final restorations even more beautiful. So I fell in love with orthodontics. And then I started to look out and say, how can I find a tool that allows me to move the teeth respecting my wax up? And that's the reason why I fell in love with aligners, the technology of aligners. The concept of moving teeth in 3D allowed me to overlap the file of my wax up and guide the orthodontic movement. Instead of just aligning teeth, I wanted to align teeth respecting my wax up. Now, since my wax up was respecting the face and my wax up was interdisciplinarily integrated, suddenly I brought these two things into my ortho movement. Now, my ortho movement is not only based on aligning teeth and delivering class 1 occlusion, my tooth movement is in harmony with the face, and my tooth movement helps the other specialties do their job. So that's when I brought these ideas to Invisalign. And Invisalign enjoyed these ideas, and we were able to combine the good points from both concepts. Invisalign had two amazing things already at that time. They had an amazing technology that allowed us to do 3D orthodontic simulations. 2, they had an amazing technology to manufacture aligners to transform those simulations in reality. These were the two magics that Align brought to the dental world. 3D simulations to visualize the movement, and aligner technology to translate that simulation into reality. At that time, they didn't have the face, and they didn't have the interdisciplinary integration. That's what DSD brought. And that's the reason why a few years ago, we started the DSD Invisalign collaboration. We brought the DSD ideas into CleanCheck, and today, CleanCheck not only is an amazing orthodontic simulation platform, planning platform, not only can manufacture the best aligners in the world, but also spatially guided and interdisciplinary connected. That's what we call the DSD Invisalign workflow.
Sounds really amazing. Hope my orthodontist friends, you have got always what I've been trying to tell even before actually Dr. Coachman had this partnership with Invisalign. We have been always trying to tell that because yesterday afternoon I have received a question, that too after watching part 1, sir, but I don't do veneers. What is the use of DSD to me? Plan. Veneers happens to be just one treatment plan, one way of restoring things. Okay, it could be anything. Why veneers are done more?
Rajiv.
Yes.
One more simple way to explain.
Yes.
One more simple way to explain.
Yes.
Before you do your specialty, DSD will help you to see that your patient needs your specialty.
Oh, is it mine or whose?
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, because there's some my Wi-Fi, because suddenly my image disappeared from the screen while you were talking. Good.
Can you hear me?
So that takes us to the next question. A Wi-Fi issue, come here. That takes us to the next question about these fascinating new things in the world of DSD, which are really, really fantastic. Which can you short about that one great thing, how you donated your teeth to your father, called as the DSD Smile Donator concept. I think I fell in love with this concept because this has a human side. This has a potential to work as on an NGO side, for people to donate. It's like one day I remember long time ago, 6 years ago, I had floated this concept that let me take smiles of famous film stars and donate it to patients and pay royalty to these film stars, and let that film star donate few smiles to few poor marriageable boys and girls, who'd always dreamt about that smile. So I think it's a concept which is highly emotional. It has a beautiful thing. So one quick this thing on DSD Smile Donator with the example
Okay.
that.
DSD Smile Donator, it's definitely one of the coolest concepts that we developed. One of the most fun concepts we developed. It was initially inspired by the idea that Dr. Paulo Cano developed almost a decade ago, where he was utilizing duplicating stone models of patients that had beautiful dentition and creating composite shells out of silicone indexes, copying the shape and texture of these natural teeth. Beautiful natural teeth. So he had on his drawer sets of composite shell, ultra thin composite shells that were a perfect copy of beautiful natural teeth. And then a patient that needed a new smile would come and he would take these shells and he would set these shells in the patient's mouth and build a smile directly in the mouth, replacing these shells and building like a denture, like a tooth setup in a denture over the existing teeth of the patient, bringing this new beautiful shape and texture for the patient, and finishing with a little bit of composite. And if the patient would approve it, then he would scan this new design and he would manufacture CAD/CAM restorations, copy paste with that with the CEREC technology at that time, utilizing what they call the biocopy, meaning that you can develop the restorations, copying exactly the scan of your mock-up. The difference was that the mock-up was not handmade, the mock-up was not a wax-up, the mock-up was done copy-paste from natural teeth. So it was a half analog, half digital process, right? You would grab the natural information in an analog way, regular impressions, stone model, silicone index, composite shell, place in the mouth, etc. Everything analog, no digital. And then after that, you would scan and jump into digital, manufacture the iterations with CAD/CAM. So when he presented this concept to me, of course, I fell in love with the idea to simplify the process, since as a technician, I know how difficult it is to train a technician to replicate natural shapes with their own hands. So I really thought that was genius. It was amazing. Right? What we did was that in 2014, we brought this concept, and with 3D technology, we started to do this completely digital. So instead of doing regular impressions, we would scan the natural beautiful teeth. We would create natural libraries of beautiful teeth in the software. We would then do the to set digitally do the smile design in 3D with these beautiful natural teeth. And then utilize this beautiful 3D design to bring to CAD/CAM and manufacture restoration. So that allowed us to do the first cases of complete digital copy-paste from nature monolithic CAD/CAM restoration. Now, as soon as you realize that you can scan anybody that has beautiful teeth and transform these teeth into a library and utilize this to rehabilitate anybody else, I thought, why not creating an emotional link? Why not actually give a meaning to the donator? Why only have donators that we don't know? Why don't we actually create a donator that means something to the receptor, to the patient? So at that point, what we started to do was to allow dentists to scan anybody and send us the files that we would transform into libraries and use those files to design the smile of the patient. So we started to tell dentists, look, when a patient and needs a new smile, why don't you ask the patient? If they don't have somebody that they know that has a beautiful smile that they like. And if they do have, bring that person in, scan that person, and let's design the patient smile with the teeth of the person that patient loves to smile. So, of course, naturally, we started to scan daughters, beautiful teeth, and rehabilitate mothers that needed a beautiful smile. We started to scan everybody that had beautiful dentition and rehabilitating the people that need a beautiful smile. We, at one point, I got a gift, a special gift of a model, the real model of the mouth of Elvis Presley. So we scanned that model and we transformed Elvis Presley into a donator. And we started to rehabilitate patients that were fans of Elvis with Elvis teeth and Elvis smile. Every time a patient would enjoy the smile of one of our staff members and say, you have a beautiful smile, we'd say, okay, we can try this person's smile in your mouth. And if they liked it, we could design, copy-paste into the naturations. And that brings us to the fact that we did the smile makeover of my father, and we were testing different designs. And one of the designs that we tested was my teeth. So we did a mock-up in my father with my teeth, and it looked very cool. There was a genetic link over there that made the smile look very, very nice, very interesting. So this is the concept of the digital smile donator that I believe is still today one of the great stories that digital dentistry can provide to your patients.
Sounds amazing, highly emotional, because I know, suppose somebody, as Dr. Coachman said just now, somebody in your life, you like somebody's smile. Example, a girl likes her mother's smile, and tomorrow you want to have your mother's smile in your own mouth, just copy that and paste it here. So not only you will get a new smile, you will get an emotional connect with your mother, you will be more happy. You know, I think it's beyond dentistry. It's beyond dentistry. So this connect is amazing. But that makes you, gets us to the last part now, which I won't, you need not answer, but just for everybody's this thing, DSD natural restorations, DSD injectables, and let us some small things like this in DSD, which one of our DSD doctors from India, Dr. Aslam Inamdar, who is also Dr. Coachman's student and done all his courses with me in Spain and in Brazil, he has already taken a lecture on a webinar on the same platform on natural restorations and injectables. So you can always follow for those. So I think that gets us to the question answer session, because I can see a lot of questions today. And I will ask Abhishek and Anand, can you just join in? Because you were reading the questions. I was not really, I just followed two questions. One was for the Facebook. For the Facebook,
Facebook.
it was by Priyanka Pitale. So when you come to that question, definitely ask that question. Okay?
Yes,
So
sir.
Anand, yes, proceed.
Hi, Christian. How are you?
Hello, very good.
Okay, so the first question that we have is from a friend of mine, Dr. Priyanka Pitle. So she wants to know, how do we actually integrate Facebook with the DSD concept? How do you go about it?
Facebook.
Yeah.
So what are the two reasons why we do a Facebook? Reason number one, we are trying to set the Facebook in the face of the patient in a way that we can translate some kind of facial references to the lab so the technician can't the smile. So it's a facial aesthetic transfer tool. Right? We want to try to show to the technician where midline, where occlusal plane should be to guide the wax up, to guide the work. That's reason number one. Reason number two for using a Facebook is to translate to the articulator in the lab a position between the upper arch and the ridge axis here, that we translate this distance, this position into the articulator, so when we move the articulator, the models are moving similar to the way the mouth is moving. These are the two only reasons why a Facebook is useful. Okay? So if you use 3D technology, you don't need Facebooks anymore. Facebooks are useless if your lab is very good with 3D technology. Why? Because reason number one, transmit facial references to the lab. If you take a few iPhone photos of the patient face and your technician, frontal profile, 12 o'clock, your technician will adapt the STL, the scan of the arch, with the picture, and that by itself is already a much better reference to align the smile with the face than the Facebook. Reason number one for the Facebook doesn't exist anymore. Reason number two, the ring axis, the distance. The same. The CAD/CAM software has an articulator. So we can integrate the pictures and the STL and utilize the analog, the digital articulator the same way we use the analog articulator. But instead of having the face bow in the software, we have the actual picture of the face. So we can set models in the same way, in a precise position where the range is similar to the patient's face. So the actual Facebook doesn't make sense anymore if you work with a lab that is good with CAD/CAM. If your lab doesn't use CAD/CAM, you still need the Facebook to transfer this information to the lab.
Okay.
Sounds good.
There is a request from Dr. Indrajit Sharan. Hello, sir. Is it possible to have a live demonstration of the software? A complete case presentation, to be more precise, with all due respect.
A couple of things I can suggest. Yes, we can definitely have a live session with the DSD app. By the way, if you go to digitalsmiledesignapp.com, there's a lot of videos, tutorials going on. They organize webinars all the time. Okay, you can get the information in the DSD app website. The app itself, the app comes with tutorials inside the app. So if you download the app, you can download the app for free and start using the app for free, practicing the app for free. Every single step that you do has a video showing how to use the app. So it's very, very strong in tutorials, the app. And another thing that we can suggest, since you guys have such a big group, is that if you guys think is interesting, I can organize with my DSD app team a live session with your for your community, where
that will be wonderful.
can do a session, can do a demonstration from A to Z, and you guys can do a Q&A session as well.
That would be
So,
the cherry on
Rajiv,
the cake for us. That
send
would
me
be
an
the cherry
email
on the cake for us. We'll
Yes,
do that.
that's perfect. That's
So just
perfect.
send
We can do it.
about
Yes,
this.
next question, any other? Yeah, Christian?
Huh?
Any other?
Huh?
Anand? Other than
So there was one more question.
spoken, if there is a question on that, omit those questions.
Okay. There was something on softwares and stuff. I guess that is only it.
So that he just answered. Anything else?
Yeah. I guess
Another thing, there is a more Indian population or people in subcontinent are using Android phones. Can we expect a DSD app in an Android phone in the future?
Not in the near future.
Then approximately 60 to 70 million people are going to miss it in this subcontinent area.
The investment would be double to develop also in Android.
Yes, I can understand that.
And you know, buying an iPad for your office, it's like buying an equipment for the, not for you, it's for your office, and it's worth doing it.
There is another question from
investment of my life, long back, much before DSD. When iPads were launched, it was probably one of my best investments of life. There's no doubt about it. For other than mental use also, yes, it was one of the finest investments, no doubt. All those who use an iPad know about it. But it's always like, my daughter is a Android lover, and she always has something to tell me about Apple, you know. So there are people who things and they refuse to change. Anyway, any other question?
So one more question has just popped up.
Yes.
How does DSD help to reduce human errors?
Yes, Dr. Debarpan Mukherjee.
Dr. Debarpan Mukherjee.
So, in all the steps that we just mentioned, so if we think about modern dentistry, we start making mistakes with poor diagnostics. So if you do proper DSD documentation, if you do facial analysis, if you do the facial-driven treatment plan, if you do what we teach in terms of team communication, asynchronous communication, collective intelligence, all the steps that we teach about how to improve documentation, how to improve smile design, how to improve team communication, how to improve diagnostics, how to improve treatment planning, will make you reduce drastically the amount of errors with treatment planning in your case. That's step number one. Step number two, by everything we just talked, with guided dentistry, utilizing these simulations, utilizing the guides, not doing, moving from freehand procedures into guided procedures, you're going to reduce, again, drastically the amount of errors. Committing to the project. As you commit to the project, you push yourself to do better.
Okay, so we have one last question.
Yeah.
My friend Dr.
One last
Rajesh
question.
Gadekar, which was answered actually in part 1. So I request Dr. Gadekar, you should, Rajesh, you should watch part 1 again, because Dr. Coachman has already answered the question for proclination, because last time it was asked by, I think, Dr. Sanket Shah from Vapi.
Yeah.
Okay. So Rajesh, I think it's there instead of, talking again. Anything else? But so
We are done, sir.
That is all.
all I finished. Let me come to the last part. Christian, you are so young. Okay? No, you are. You are almost how many? 14 years younger to me.
Wow.
Where do you see the concept of DSD 10 years from now?
Where do I see?
Where do I see? Where do you see? Because what I have seen with DSD for the last 10 years, from here to what is today, I wish I was 45-year-old today. I always say that. Okay. So where do you see DSD when you are 60 years old? That's another nice, I think, 15, 16 years.
I see DSD all over India.
Yes.
So I wish how really it will benefit everybody. People are slowly realizing it. It takes time for this country to adapt new things because of various reasons. I'm sure it's over the world.
There's nothing wrong with the time. Don't feel guilty if you're not on board. Don't feel bad if you're not on board. Everything is right. Everything happens at the right moment. And we just need to always look forward and keep moving and keep improving. You know, the financial issues are real. You know, it's like Brazil as well. But we need it's a choice that we need to make in terms of taking the risk to becoming better, to differentiating ourselves, you know, to doing different than the average. It's a choice. Do we want to be average? Do we want to be above average? Right? So we want to be above average, and we are committed to it. I can guarantee that we can find a way to invest on the things that we need to be above average.
Yes.
So I hope that in the future, where do I see DSD? I see, of course, I see every single system being improved, every single step being facilitated, every single solution becoming available, every single concept being utilized by more people. I hope that DSD in 10 years will be able to help many more doctors, to help many more patients.
Somebody answered. 15 years from now, I wish we all are shifted to digitally guided dentistry. Oh, my dear Indrajit Sharan, I think Dr. Coachman will be on some other level and some other platform at that time when we will be doing digitally guided dentistry. I'll talk to you, Indrajit, later. So, Christian, before we say thank you to you, there were doctors today from Dr. Duran from Mexico. There was Dr. Bassam from some country which he has not mentioned. There was Dr. Shoaib from Saudi Arabia. There is one doctor from Bangladesh. And there is one more doctor from one more, again, he's not mentioned the country. So there are people there are doctors who are joining in from various parts of the world. That's the beauty of the World Dental Association platform. And so we once again thank you for being with us for this part too. And on your behalf, I will continue my effort till I am into the profession of spreading good about DSD, working hard. I am putting my best every now and then because I know it has benefited me. It has changed my life. It has changed my patients' lives. It has done all good to me in my life. I know it. And so as many doctors I can transfer it, I am doing it. And trust me on that. So thank you once again for our friendship. Thank you once again for being my guru at the age of 50. I am enjoying it. I always tell this is my youngest guru in the world because already my gurus are a little more than my age, you know. So for a long time I found somebody who is really younger, and that's what I keep teaching everybody, that you should always keep finding some source of education, some source of knowledge and something to learn from somebody, even whoever is even younger to you, because it will only benefit us. So thank you so much. Thank you. Regards to your family. India is still under lockdown and we are still not yet reached our peak. I wrote you in the message. So we will discuss the plan, what you sent me in the evening. It looks a little difficult because it is impossible for 5 dentists to come in somebody's clinic as of now, because the peak is expected in June week or June 4th week. And by the time we flatten the curve, it should be July end. So I doubt. And dentists have a lot of fear in India and, very difficult to form a group. But I will try my level best. And that's the best thing you could do for everybody, I think, today. You really did it. So thank you once again.
Thank you, guys. Great honor, great pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you, Christian. Thank you, Rajiv sir, for your wonderful time and initiative. Thank you once again from all of us. And I think Dr. Anand has one important announcement to make before the end of the show.
So one sec. You make the announcement and I have to say something for Dr. Coachman.
Mute. Anand, you are mute. Anand, you are mute.
Sorry. So I have two important announcements to make, and incidentally, both of the announcements happen to be from the same institute, that is YMT Dental College. So the first and the biggest announcement is exactly 10 days from now, that is on the 21st of June, on International Yoga Day, we have Dr. Meenakshi Verma ma'am, who will be, teaching us how to be fit physically and mentally. The whole thing that we have understood in the past 2.5 months is that our immunity is the most important to tide over this. So we are going to have an amazing huge session with Dr. Meenakshi Verma ma'am on International Yoga Day, celebrating yoga and celebrating health and wellness. And the second announcement, again, a very, very good and a very happy news for us. Dr. Sharad Kokate sir, the ex-dean of YMT Dental College and Hospital, has been awarded Lifetime Achievement Award from Maharashtra University of Health Sciences. So it is a commendable thing. He is an amazing person, an amazing human being. And it's a pleasure to be, knowing sir in person. Thanks a lot, Abhishek. Yes, over to sir. Now Rajiv sir is mute.
We are having some.
So to begin with, the first would be congratulating my sir, Dr. Sharad Kokate. And sir, we are proud of you. And congratulations for your Lifetime Achievement Award. And the second is an invitation to Dr. Coachman to join us on International Yoga Day. Meenakshi, of course, Christian knows very well. And Meenakshi has seen that in 2012 in DSD Goa course. Dr. Coachman used to go with her at literally 5:36 in the morning onto the beach and do yoga. So we give you an opportunity, Christian, to join us on International Yoga Day. For some time, you may not have time for the whole 1 hour or something, but for some time, Meenakshi will be very happy. That would be the biggest on that day.
The babies are screaming here. I have to run and put them to sleep.
See you. No, it's not today. It's 10 days later. See you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Take care. Good night.
Okay, bye-bye, everybody. And Rajiv sir, you are again mute. I don't know why.
What is happening today?
Yes, now it is fine. Last announcement. This Sunday, we have Dr. Pradeep Samuel for digital workflow in dental implantology. So looking forward to the event. Over to you, Rajiv sir.
So bye-bye. Thank you, everybody. So this brings an end to my webinar series for the season, at least for now on. And hopefully I would start a cooking channel with WDA very soon. Because another 4 days and I should be completing 100 dishes in my lockdown period.
Wow.
I am coming to your place very soon.
Sir, I am coming to Thane. Sir, I am coming to Thane.
When everything opens up, you all are welcome. So
Thank you so much.
Are we online still?
Yes, sir.
Let me finish it off.
Anyway, bye-bye to everybody.